Sonorospheres are mysterious gates that appear around Solaris that leads to zones that show events from the distant past or the near future. Much like a lot of things in 1.0, sonorospheres aren't very well explained. However, you'd find that they're actually pretty easy to understand. Before we begin, let's refresh our memory on a few things. In Solaris, due to a great disaster known as the Lament, everything has been converted into frequencies. If matter was made up of atoms, then frequencies has taken its place. The purest form of these frequencies is called the remnant energy. Remnant energy is able to hold information from beyond space and time, meaning that if you had a way to analyze it, you'd be able to study events from the past or future. However, remnant energy is subject to decay, and what is left behind is this thing called reverberation. Reverberation, unlike remnant energy, are impure by nature. If you try to read reverberations, you'd be bombarded by a lot of unrelated information, making it difficult to decipher unless you had a forte that's able to read them properly. To simplify, if remnant energy is bottled water, then reverberations is a soup. For more information on frequencies and their applications by resonators, or how they're related to Solaris' current state, then you can check these other two videos that I made. Now, sonorospheres are gates that are made up of remnant energy that coalesced into a singular point to create an enterable space, and the kind of space that is created is entirely based on the remnant energy that was used to make it. Commonly, it depicts events from the past, such as the one in Guizhi and the one in Rinsita, or in Lahairoi's case, events from a potential future, though this specifically might be because of Lahairoi's unique circumstances. However, a sonorosphere structure isn't stable and is prone to altercations and warping. This is because it is easily influenced by impure reverberations that exist in the environment and also from any incoming visitors. Recall that much like remnant energy, reverberations also contains information. It's like if you're exploring a cave and the walls keep shifting and changing. You'd get lost pretty easily if you're unprepared. This makes sonorospheres extremely dangerous to explore, and the reason why it's rather difficult to try and understand its original nature, uncorrupted by unrelated frequencies. But being able to display events from the past or future gives them immense research value, making sonorospheres incredibly valuable to scientists. Like remnant energy, sonorospheres are also subject to decay. Anything that still remains inside the sonorosphere at the time of its exploration will be lost forever, and what is left is something called a sonance casket. While the information inside one isn't as complete as a sonorosphere, they are still equally as valued. All of this information regarding sonorospheres is thanks to a researcher named Baizhi. Previously, remnant energy and sonorospheres aren't very well understood, and she, alongside her team, made frequent expeditions into sonorospheres to try and understand what they are. During one particular expedition, she and her team made a breakthrough in their research and managed to decipher what a sonorosphere was made of, as well as discovering the method to properly extract remnant energy out of the sonorosphere, leaving the impure frequencies behind. Unfortunately, an accident occurred and the sonorosphere began to collapse mid-expedition. She was the only survivor and the rest of her research team perished. Using what she learned, Baizhi developed the artificial sonorosphere, whose purpose was to extract remnant energy from a sonorosphere, just like what she did in the expedition. This innovation made it possible to create simulated spaces using stored frequencies to more easily study past events, as well as for military and medical purposes. In regards to research, the easiest example of this would be back in 1.3, when Black Shores in the Modulation Hall opened up a sonorosphere to study the Guizhi Lament. In regards to combat, we really only need to look at Yan's combat training and the various combat events that this game has, such as virtual crisis trials among other things. And in regards to medical, back in 1.0, Baizhi had us enter a sonorosphere to do an assessment on our health after we absorbed the Crownless. So to recap, sonorospheres are enterable spaces made up of remnant energy. Their contents are influenced by the frequencies used in its construction and manifest spaces that depict events from the past, or in Lahairoi's case, the future. The structure of a sonorosphere is easily influenced by the frequencies that exist in the environment and by visitors, causing the insides to warp and change. This makes exploring them extremely dangerous. Much like remnant energy, a sonorosphere is subject to decay. Anything that is still inside the sonorosphere at the time of expiration will be lost, leaving behind a sonance casket. Artificial sonorospheres is an innovation by Baizhi designed to extract remnant energy, leaving the impure frequencies behind. A side product of this innovation is the ability to create simulated spaces for various needs. This was a shorter video, but the research took a bit longer than I would have liked. No thanks to how busy I was this week. Thank you for 1,000 subscribers. Please subscribe. Thank you.